Tzu Chi volunteers assist with cleanup after flooding occurs in much of Malacca, Malaysia. The special charity bazaar in Xinzhu features food and other delicious items for vaccine funds. I'm Sean Scanlon. This is DI Headlines. Let's get started. An afternoon torrential rain in Malacca, Malaysia, combined with high tide, led to severe flooding in 20 regions. Tzu Chi volunteers headed to check the disaster zone and also took time to look in on their Dharma family members while also providing a hot meal for them to eat. The next day, as the flood receded, they began to help with the cleanup. Let's take a look.
A torrential rain in the afternoon combined with the high tide of the ocean has led to knee-high flooding in over 20 regions in Malacca, Malaysia.
This is the second largest flooding so far. When we saw the floodwaters, it was too late. They told us to leave, but I didn't. I need to protect my stuff.
He didn't want to leave, but the Pyeongpon had to make him come out.
A military truck enters the flood zone to help evacuate residents, while Tzu Chi volunteers had to look after their Dharma families and also help those with difficulty in walking leave their premises.
The part where I carried her from the door out, that was really hard on me. Thankfully, a few Malays came to help. There's about 2 or 3 men helping. This has happened 3 times already in this area. The flood level, if I'm not mistaken, is about 4 feet. That's why the destruction is greater.
Seeing so many places are still flooded, we thought to send the survivors some hot meals, as we are worried they don't have a way to eat meals at home right now.
Very thankful that you got these new people come and help us.
I was very touched when I received meals. I shed tears as I ate it, because Dharma family is there to support me. I'm not worried.
We were just saying Tzu Chi will show up soon. You guys came last time, so we're really grateful.
When the floodwaters receded, volunteers mobilized to assist in cleanup.
This time seems to be worse than 5 months ago. The water level was higher this time. Each time the volunteers worry about us and come to help us. Thinking about it, this must be because we haven't taken care of the environment, so it's like this.
With the frequency of the disaster, we must think about the root of these issues, while also knowing that helping one another through tough times is a must.
In August this year, a strong earthquake occurred in Haiti. In Beaumont, near the epicenter, 80% of the buildings were damaged, but the school and city government buildings have been turned to ruins that are in urgent need of reconstruction. Here's more. The earthquake hit us hard. People aren't sleeping in their own homes, though the most of the houses remain still standing. At this point, they can't be repaired. They must be demolished. I can confirm that Beaumont City is 80% destroyed. I'd like to take the opportunity to say that restarting classes in Beaumont won't be possible because all the schools were destroyed.
College St. Francois is the first school with 12 grades in Beaumont municipality. People have really appreciated that. When I come here now, I imagine what I would be doing, what I would be saying. If the children were there when the school was functioning normally, I still can't get over it.
We need to rebuild the schools because all the schools have collapsed. There are 15,000 students at risk of not going to school after staying home for 3 months due to COVID.
This space that is right behind me is where the Beaumont Town Hall once stood. Fortunately, the earthquake happened on the weekend. Otherwise, all the staff would have died as the 2-story building completely collapsed. On this land right here, we want to build a temporary shelter where we can hold emergency meetings, planning meetings. We have already bought another piece of land to rebuild the town hall, but we are looking at need reconstruction funds.
First of all, we need the help of others, such as organizations like Tzu Chi, to help us with the construction.
We will ask our international friends, our Haitian brothers and sisters overseas, and NGOs to donate cement, wood, nails, and metal sheets to distribute to people so that they can rebuild a shelter. We want to rebuild this town and get back to our old days.
In Vietnam, due to economic development concerns, movement control measures have been relaxed. However, the number of confirmed COVID cases has increased, and the medical burden has been heavy at local hospitals. With the assistance of the Red Cross and the government, local Tzu Chi volunteers delivered medical supplies to hospitals and distributed food packs to those in need in the community, hoping to help residents out of their desperate plight. Let's take a look.
Boxes of masks were moved to the car. As the pandemic is severe, the number of the confirmed patients in Pyongyang increased repeatedly, resulting in a heavy medical load.
Đủ dùng không hả chị hả? Đủ thì chưa đủ đó. Chị có nguyện vọng gì nữa không chị? Dạ, có nguyện vọng xin thêm thôi ạ.
In Ho Chi Minh City, Tzu Chi cooperated with the Red Cross and the local government to provide oxygen concentrators to hospitals in response to their needs.
For many years, Tzu Chi and the Red Cross have been cooperating very well. During the pandemic, we have played a role as a bridge and assisted Tzu Chi in contacting hospitals to donate medical equipment.
I am grateful to the government and the Red Cross for their active assistance so that this aid material can be delivered to the hospitals to help medical staff prevent the pandemic.
At the same time, with the assistance of People's Army, living supplies were sent to the community to help poor families to get through the difficulties together.
Sydney, Australia had been closed for over 100 days, but volunteers with crafty hands did not rest. They used this time to make head coverings and mask extenders to donate to hospitals for frontline workers. Let's take a look at their efforts.
The frontline healthcare workers are wearing colorful head coverings and mask extenders, which cannot be purchased with money as these are handmade with love by the volunteers.
It's the pandemic right now, so we are all at home. It's good that we have something to do. Better that is for the greater good. If we can give, then I'm happy about it.
Che Yingfeng is not only making them herself, but she's also enlisted her husband who suffered a stroke to help. Another is this white-haired volunteer who has vision problems, but still perseveres in the endeavor.
I cannot see clearly up close anymore, so sometimes I take a break. I don't want to give a bad finished project because I feel it might interfere with the comfort level.
In less than 3 months, we made over 1,500 head coverings and more than 1,000 mask extenders. Looking back at those numbers now, it really makes me feel we got there step by step.
Love is infused in each delicate item as they are donated to a total of 27 hospitals. The volunteers hope these colorful items help accompany the frontline healthcare workers and carry them through this difficult time.
Tzu Chi volunteers launched a global campaign to raise vaccine funds in Xinzhu over the weekend. A mini charity bazaar was held to raise money, with many contributing fried buns, tea eggs, braised tofu, and other items for sale. Over the course of the event, some $10,000 was raised for vaccine funds. Here's more. Walking by on the sidewalk, this is something you don't want to miss. Just looking at the buns, people are drooling. Just one or two is not enough, as this buyer brings special containers to take them home.
Originally, they said 50 pieces of fried buns would be enough, but then it became 200 and then 300. I have never made so many in a day before, so I'm very happy today.
This is something I usually like to eat, although I'm not a vegetarian. I thought it was delicious and tasted very good.
Don't think that there are only fried buns for charity sale, but there are many more things.
I have prepared some vegetarian tuna clips. I hope this small action can join with others and multiply our efforts to make a major impact.
Your personal power, when it combines with the power of many people, it will make this love multiply and benefit more people.
把它做一个倍数的翻涨。这个是凯欣做的。
对了，这个很快就。Many are eager to do good deeds together as we see how happy this little sister is.
There was a way to pre-order because everyone is so enthusiastic. Everyone's love is shared as we are in a very happy mood together.
感恩你哦，谢谢，共襄盛举。
If there's not enough to buy, you can directly donate to the vaccine fund. There's also a signboard where everyone shares their love. In Malaysia, Phu Wei Sek lost his job during the pandemic. After finding a new job, he contracted COVID. What's even worse is that several days later, his wife, Tan Bi Chang, also contracted COVID as she also suffers from kidney disease. After noticing their situation, Tzu Chi initiated a care program, providing help to the family in need of hope, accompanying them through their toughest moments in life. Through the road of recovery, the couple experienced life's impermanence and began to be more appreciative of people around them. Take a look.
During the pandemic, Phu Wei Sek is fortunate enough to acquire a job, yet he contracted COVID-19. His wife, Tan Bi Cheng, suffers from kidney disease and contracted COVID-19 days after. Suddenly, the family fell into a spree of fear and helplessness. At the time, I had the oxygen mask on and was lying on the hospital bed. The first day, I could go to the bathroom on my own, but on the second day, I couldn't. One time during midnight, I heard groaning. On the next day, I found out the patient 3 beds over passed away.
I was very scared because no one was by my side to help me. I have movement difficulties, and it was my husband that always took care of me. Facing the sudden illness, I felt helpless and was scared of passing the virus on to my children. During this time, Tan Mu Keng cared for me, and if my husband needed anything in the hospital, she will buy it and bring it to him.
The person mentioned by Tan Bi Cheng is a volunteer named Tan Myo King.
In the morning, I will send a text message to him. If he doesn't reply, I will send one more message. We will also call him and make sure that he is doing okay. This is to also let him know that we are by his side.
Living on the edge of his life, Phu Wei Sek is filled with worries. The doctor told me that 70% of my lungs were invaded by bacteria, and the remaining 30% is functional. I then asked the doctor if I can recover from the illness. I worry about when I'm gone, what happens to my family, especially my wife and my 2 children. The older child is 21 years old and is too young for society. So at the time, I was worried. But after calming down, I chanted the sutra and prayed to the Bodhisattva. I prayed to the Bodhisattva that I will do anything just to recover.
At the time he was in critical conditions, he kept coughing and had breathing problems. So I prayed to the Buddha for blessings. It was the only thing I could do.
When the couple was discharged from the hospital, I was very happy. The happiness is very hard to describe. At the moment, I was emotionally moved because I saw the power of love getting stronger between them.
I'm thankful that during my process of having COVID-19, I got to know many things and understand more of Dharma, which led me to understand more things in life, and to not be stubborn over one thing. We must cherish our life and grab onto it tightly.
Tzu Chi has long promoted community study groups for learning Dharma. But as the pandemic hit, in-person activities were banned. Thanks to modern technology, everything easily went online, as well as the study groups. Thus, Malaysia Tzu Chi volunteers were able to continue their learning despite being quarantined at home. Here's more.
Early on, Malaysia's Dharma study group were held in person at the liaison office or recycling station. However, as the pandemic raged on, the study group went virtual, and the volunteers continued to adapt to this new form of learning.
以往的方式呢，就是由一个主要的导读者一个人在前面讲，那可能20-30个人就这样。
Our past way of group study was one main reader and 20 to 30 people would listen. So that meant we were lacking interaction. Our current method is for everyone who joins to speak about their own take on the lesson, or some life lessons they have learned. Also, since some of the community Dharma family may not be familiar with the software, we have one group leader, our Lotus leader, to help each group overcome these obstacles.
Volunteer Ku Bok In has glaucoma and is not familiar with new technology, but he was eager to learn as he's one of the Lotus Blossom leaders and believes in just going for it.
The words on the cell phone are too small for me, and when I look at the phone for too long, my eyes will start tearing up, and my eye pressure rises. The same goes for a computer screen. I must take a break about every 30 minutes. I didn't know how to use the software, but now I'm about 60% familiar with it. To me, it's easy, just going for it and learning because the master tells us that there should be no hesitation when it comes to doing the right thing.
From in-person study groups to remote study groups, modern technology has helped to break location restrictions. The volunteers use the online study group as a way to continue their learning and not waste their time at home.
Using this opportunity, we can let everyone know the Master has lots of books that are useful in our daily life, such as how to deal with household conflict, especially since being quarantined at home. There's bound to be more conflict in the family, and how can we use our wisdom to solve the problems we encounter in daily life?
对，如果是我煮的话咯，他们就跟咯。
他跟着我还。
In Malaysia, we have 280 lotus blossoms, which means through the study group sessions, we can pass on the Master's Dharma to more people, where they can listen, see, and use it.
Gaining knowledge through books and lessons, the study group platform helps those to participate to process what they have learned and increase their spiritual and wisdom life.
Online study groups have been promoted in Malaysia. However, 5 groups in Georgetown have been slow to join, as many elderly bodhisattvas don't know how to use technology. Thus, Tan Ai Kun, one of the leaders of the study group, tries to make sure all her members know how to get online or have someone that can help them, so everyone can continue growing their wisdom. Here's more.
Hello, how are you? There might be a study session this week. The Master has spoken a lot of wisdom, and if you can apply one phrase to your life, then it's more than enough.
爱发脾气，这个念头呢就开始起来，就发在咱的形态里。
Since March of this year, Malaysia Tzu Chi volunteers have encouraged their Dharma study groups to be hosted virtually. Those in Penang's Georgetown finally went virtual in July, becoming the 281st Lotus Blossom in the country.
My group members are mostly older bodhisattvas. Some don't know how to read, so I use simpler ways to explain and also speak in Hogganese. I often incorporate with Da'ai TV shows to help convey the meaning. I will also let them know the events we have done before and use the classics to help explain the Dharma lessons in a way they understand.
Although they blossomed later than others, Tan Ai Kun tries to help each of her members join the online study session each time.
For example, one of the members doesn't have the cell phone, but his wife does, so I send a link to the wife each time, and she will ask their grandson to turn on the computer and help him get access to the link. Some of the members ask their daughter to connect them and teach them. For those that live closer to me, like the sister who lives above me, I tell her to come to my house and I teach her myself. I have 15 members, and each time I get 12 members online for the study group. Many are interested.
In the past 20 years, Li Chaopeng has continued to support Tzu Chi, but as he's not well versed in technology, he has asked his grandson to help him join the meeting each time so that he doesn't miss out on this learning opportunity with his peers.
If I have a meeting at 6 in the morning, he will come help me and then go back to sleep. I tell him it's okay, as long as I can listen, but he still comes to help.
Learning about Buddhism is a road to embark on, and as long as you are not afraid of the challenges that may come your way, when you stick with it, Dharma lessons can flow through you and enrich your heart.
Tzu Chi Japan chapter in Tokyo has a class where participants copy sutra text to help settle their hearts. This relaxing activity has appealed to many people, with one particular Japanese participant insisting on using a calligraphy brush to copy the sutra text. Let's take a look at this beautiful work.
This steady and calm atmosphere inspires people to join in on this activity. All sorts of different writing utensils are used to reach the main goal of
Actually, you can copy the sutra text at home, but doing it alongside others is better because you can follow their example and we can learn together.
It feels good to do something together and to copy the sutra text. It's a fulfilling day when I come here each time.
double-checking if the word is correct and erasing when the wrong character is written. For these participants, the process of sutra text copying is a form of meditation.
When you are concentrating on copying the sutra, your mind would stop wandering and you are very settled and quiet.
I think the biggest reward for me is that I gain a deeper understanding of myself from this activity.
Daily life is hectic and busy, and often our hearts are anxious. So when I come to copy the sutra text, I gain a sense of settlement.
Vegetarianism continues to be a group activity here.
After I became a vegetarian, my intestines feel very light, and also I feel that I'm more compassionate towards others.
Everyone must participate in the vegetarian campaign promotion. One person's influence is not enough. When we work together in promoting, making and eating the meal, the feeling of togetherness is very meaningful.
Settling the mind and cleansing the body, in these moments, it can be done.
Tzu Chi Jingsa Hall in Gold Coast, Australia regularly organizes a food distribution for refugees. At the same time, it also raises funds to make a donation to Taiwan's vaccine fund. I leave you with these images. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.